Hello guys and welcome to a new video. Welcome to a new episode of Guitar of the Month. This month we'll be featuring my beautiful Jackson Rhoads 1. This guitar is awesome. Just like on the other episodes, I'll set up the guitar, I'll change the strings on it, clean it up, condition the fretboard, polish the frets, you know, the whole nine. And I'll talk about the guitar extensively and show you all the nooks and crannies. Now this guitar needs no introduction. I mean, everybody's played it. And I fell in love with the guitar ever since I saw it. This is not a cheap guitar by any means. This is the Rhoads 1, which is probably the best model out of all of them without getting into the custom shop ones. Now these guitars you really can't find, so it really is a struggle to actually go and pick one up. This puppy right here I actually had to order and wait 6 months for it to come into the store. At the time I worked at Sam Ash and I was a guitar department manager, so I could just pick up the phone and call Jackson and tell them exactly what it is that I needed. So I asked for this guitar regular standard, but they didn't have any in stock. The way they work at the Jackson USA factory is they build the guitars after being ordered. And that's why they're really hard to find at guitar stores. Because Guitar Center or Sam Ash or any mom and pop store would actually have to pay for it up front and order it and then wait 6 months for it to get there and then hang it on the wall and then wait for somebody to actually go ahead and buy that guitar before they order a second one. Now the problem with these guitars is that they're really well built. And because of the price point of this guitar, it's really out of most people's reach. Hell, I only bought it because I got a really good discount by being a manager there. And I blew all of my savings on it. So yeah, let's face it, most metalheads are broke and are not going to spend top dollar on a guitar like this. In fact, most people that could afford a guitar like this would probably go with a Gibson or a Fender before buying one of these guys. Luckily, I already had them. Now this guitar to me is the ultimate shredding machine. I mean, look at it, it's gorgeous. Look at the attention to the detail. Before I got this guitar, I already had a Jackson Rhoads 3, which is a Japanese-made model. And it's really good, and it sounded awesome. I actually changed the pickups on that, and I changed the Floyd Rose. But it was still a bolt-on guitar. Of course, way cheaper than this guy. So I knew what I was getting into, and I knew I wanted to play this guitar. Now the Jackson Rhoads model has actually been one of my favorites forever. I mean, Dave Mustaine played one, Kirk Hammett played one, even Brian May played one. Or so I thought. Little did I know that was a Washburn. But to me, it was just a V-shaped guitar that looked awesome. And I gotta tell you, this guitar purchase was one that I put off for the longest time. Because I felt that it was actually too expensive for what it actually was. I mean, how much better could it be than the Rhoads 3 I already had? And I gotta tell you, once I got it, it's night and day. It really is a top-notch guitar. Now sadly, Randy Rhoads actually passed away before the guitars came into production, but he did play a Concord, which was basically like a prototype guitar. It didn't have the Floyd Rose, and the jack was actually placed on a different spot. It also had a different headstock. You want to know how well built this instrument is? Check this out. So in 2019, I took it on tour, and I went all the way from Buenos Aires with 100 degrees Fahrenheit during summer, or about 35 Celsius for non-Americans. And I flew all the way up to Boston, Massachusetts, where it was -2 Celsius. Or about 34 Fahrenheit. And I had forgotten my strings back home. So I only had the one spare. Because my original plan was to get to Boston, wait for the guitar to settle to the new weather conditions, and then replace the strings and set it up. But since I forgot all of my strings, except for the one set, I decided to go ahead and play the first couple of shows with the strings that were already on the guitar, and then replace it once I got a second spare set of strings, just in case anything happened during the show. Anyway, so long story short, I played the whole tour with that one set of strings that was originally on the guitar, because I just never got the time to actually replace the strings and buy an extra set just in case. So I kept the strings on it for the whole tour. It never went out of tune, ever. Now consider this: extreme weather change, sweat, heat, lights, the fog machines, me banging on the strings constantly, and it never went out of tune. That's impressive, Jackson. Well done. I approve. Oh, and also, it actually fell off of my gig bag. No! I don't know if you guys can see that, but I actually grabbed the Sharpie and I painted it back to black. But it actually had fallen off of my gig bag right on the floor, right on the streets of Gainesville. So yeah, it got hurt big time, but it did not go out of tune. It was rocking away at Tampa, Florida the very next night. So yeah, great job. Oh, and before I forget, yet again, all of the products and the guitar strings that I use and recommend are going to be linked on the description down below. So if you need a guitar cleaner, guitar polish, fretboard conditioner, or even a set of strings, please click on the affiliate links down there. And if you actually do purchase them, the channel gets a small commission and it really helps me out a lot. But if you don't need any of that and you still want to help the channel out, make sure you hit that join button down there. It'll be well appreciated. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel like a man, and drop me a like and a comment to help me out with the almighty YouTube algorithm so that it can show this video to more people. Okay, so let's do this. Let me go set this up so that I can show you all the nooks and crannies of this amazing shred machine. Okay, so as always, I'm just going to take the strings off, polish the frets, condition the fretboard, clean up the body, change the strings on it, make sure that it's set up correctly, and then I am actually going to show you some before and after recordings. I actually recorded a couple of riffs with this guitar as it is, and then I'll play the same riffs with the new strings on it so that we can compare the sounds. Sound good? Okay, so let's do this. Now for this particular setup and all of my Floyd Rose guitars, I actually use this little tool here, and I got these from Mr. Hexhider himself, Mr. Steve. He actually sent me a few of these for me to try out, and I actually really like them. I'll show you where they go, but the cool thing about these is that they actually stay on the guitar at all times, so you don't really have to fumble with an Allen wrench. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so as promised, let me show you the interior of this guitar. That's awesome. Let me show you. Okay, so here we go. Seymour Duncan pickups. Probably my favorite combination, JB and Jazz. Check this out. Pull that out. You see the ground there. And of course, the Seymour Duncan plating in the back. This is the TV4 JB. And this is SH2N for the Jazz, made in America. With all Seymour Duncans. I love Duncans. And here you can see that it's all one solid piece of wood. No tops, nothing. You can see that here too. And here's the cavity for that. Here we have the pickup switch, two volume knobs, and a tone knob. And this actually is brushed aluminum. That's pretty sick. I was really surprised when I saw that. And so is the backplate. I will show you in a minute. And of course, the Floyd Rose. Okay, so as always, I am going to start with the frets, then do the fretboard, then clean the body up. As always, I'm going to use the Music Nomad stuff, which is really amazing. And these are jumbo frets, so you gotta use the jumbo guard. Okay, so the next step, conditioning the fretboard. And that looks 100% better. Check that out. Look at the shine on the frets. And as you can see, the ebony looks a lot darker now. And it feels a lot smoother. Ebony is my favorite wood for the fretboards. They just feel like butter. It's crazy. But it's also the most expensive one to get. And look at the mother of pearl inlays. The shark fins. It's awesome. Okay, so we'll let it sit for a second, and then I start cleaning off the body of the guitar. Okay, and now we do the back of it. Now, do you guys see that? That is a one-piece neck through body construction guitar. That means that it's not a set neck, it's not glued on, it's not bolted on or screwed in. It is one piece, one solid block of wood. That's what makes this guitar that expensive. Check that out. Aluminum. And I don't know if you can see that, but that's where it got dinged up when it fell. Anyway, and this is how the tool attaches to the back of the guitar. See, it already comes with this, which is meant to grab and hold both Allen keys that you will need with a Floyd. But I got rid of them, and I just used this, the Hexhider one. It's got a very strong magnet, so it stays there. And you can headbang, you can do whatever you want, and it will stay on. Okay, so it's time to put the strings on it. On this guitar, since I tune it down to C# standard, I like to use the 10 to 52 gauge string, and you can't get any better than the D'Addario NYXLs. I do like the EXPs because they're coated, and I am really excited about the new XT ones that are also coated. But for this guy, and for the time being, we'll use these guys here. And wow, look at that. This is the completed guitar. New strings, conditioned fretboard, cleaned up, and ready to rock. Okay, so at this point the guitar is ready to rock. So let me show you what it sounds like with new strings now that it's completely set up and ready to go.